American democracy now. Why should you care? Distrust, lack of efficacy, which is a person's belief that he or she has the ability to achieve something desirable and that the government genuinely listens to individuals, and apathy among young people were reflected in the voter turnouts for the 2000 presidential election, when only 36% of eligible college voters went to the polls. The events of September 11, 2001, jolted American politics and the nation, and the altered political context provoked changes in the popular views. Notably, young people's opinions, the attacks of 9/11 changed the way millennial generation, people born between 1981 and 2000, the first generation to come of age in the new millennium, thinks about politics. Overnight, their attitudes were more like those of the greatest generation, the generation of Americans who lived through the Great Depression and World War II. A pollster who helped Harvard University students construct a national poll of young people's views has a lot to say about it. As patriotic spirits soared, suddenly 60% of college students trusted government to do the right thing. 92% considered themselves patriotic. Some 77% thought that politics were relevant to their lives. In the immediate aftermath of the September 11, 2001 attacks, then President George W. Bush and Congress enjoyed record high approval ratings. Roughly 80% of young people and nearly the same percentage of all Americans supported U.S. military actions in Afghanistan. I'm recording this today on the 14th anniversary of September 11th, and I want you to think about the differences between what was happening then and what was happening now, our attitudes towards government, and our level of patriotism. Beyond opinions, actions changed as well after September 11th. More than 70% of college students gave blood, donated money, or volunteered in relief efforts. Nearly 70% volunteered in their communities, up from 60% in 2000. 86% believed their generation was ready to lead the United States into the future. Are you one of them? So let's talk about engagement. Civic engagement is one vitally important goal of this class this year, and it's to encourage you to engage in a respectful, continuing conversation about your views and to make them the connection between having ideas and opinions and acting on them. Civic engagement is defined as individual and collective actions designed to identify and address issues of public concern. Political engagement, on the other hand, are citizens' actions that are intended to solve public problems through political means. That is, as you will go through this class, we are trying to get you involved not only in doing things, but also being active politically so that we are able to elect leaders that reflect your viewpoints. All right. So, March 2014 Gallup poll demonstrated that 17% of Americans say mobile technology has increased their involvement in elections and other political activity a lot. Okay. Read through those statistics. And is that true for you? Are you more likely to use your mobile device than any other device to access the internet and to be politically active? Remember, you can pause this video at any point in time to write down things, to rewind, to listen to something, to gather evidence for our class discussions and debate. So I found this chart about political engagement on social networking sites versus people, all of adults. All right. So the first column is percentage of social network sites users who have done this and the percentage of all adults who have done this. And if you go right down the column, you will notice that if you are on a social networking site, you're more likely to be politically and active, civically engaged. So for an example, like or promote material related to political social issues that others have posted. 38% of social networking sites users have done this, but only 23% of all adults who have done this. So I want you to go down through this list, find something that piques your interest, find something that you find fascinating, find something that you can talk about in class regarding people's ability or likeliness or willingness to be more active on social networking sites and why that is. All right, so lastly, I want to show you something. It's an app called Countable. You could do it on the computer as well. But this app is pretty cool. It lets you know when there are different bills up to be voting in Congress. And you put your zip code in when you register, so it knows who your representatives and your senators are. And so it'll give you examples of the bills, and it'll give you a very brief, as you can see, argument in favor of the bill and the argument opposed to the bill. And then you click yay or nay. And after you click yay or nay, you can then send a note. It automatically generates, if you allow it to, send a note to your representative or senator, depending on if it's a House bill or a Senate bill. And that gives you a voice in government. And you can vote on these, 10, 15 times a day if you wanted to, or maybe once or twice. You can see up here that I voted on 4 bills the day that I made this presentation. And you can also look back at different issues, what bills are up there. It's a pretty easy way for you to be politically engaged and not have to lift your eyes off your mobile device. So this is talking about civic engagement, political and civic engagement, as well as efficacy.